Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well out there. We thought we'd do
Hey there.
another FaceHammer live. It's going to be a bit unprepped this one, but we're just going to talk about shit that we're doing, basically.
Oh, this is it's going to be relevantly unprepped because it's just ask what we've been doing, ask what's going to be happening, ask how confident we are of our inevitable 5-0 straight winning streak.
What if we? Yeah, I've made a huge mistake. I'm going to be by the bar in a ball crying by the end of the day. So,
I think that's kind of the way that we should go to our first event is to
but it's not like
go and have a nice time and be sociable.
it's not our first event because we've been to lots. It's just our first
Okay.
AOS free event.
Well, it's first AOS 3
but
event and first event in 2 years.
yeah, bit less than that
Yeah.
for me, but yeah, basically, yeah. So we're gonna talk about we've done a couple videos on list text. We did Byron was already going to the Manchurian Carnage next weekend, and we did his Sinesh tech, and you can see his Gantt chart behind him and his lovely lit up whiteboard.
Nothing in the painting columns. Don't worry about that.
Hey Chuck. And then we were no painting done. And what I did at LCR Bone Reaper show, got a little bit excited, got a ticket, decided to go, decided to take Ossiot Bone Reapers, and we're just gonna talk about. No, he's not finished his painting. I've just told him he has to record because I need to put content out. So I'm taking away his precious painting time right now. So
It's good having a little break anyway. I'm still on the assembly. Shit's looking good though. Like
yeah,
my army is beautiful in grey currently.
like most of my armies. So we're gonna talk
We'll
a little
cover
bit.
how pretty things are in grey in a second. But
Yeah,
Russ has also made things pretty in colour, so
yeah, I have. I've put some turquoise on the bases. So, but we're
always
gonna,
the right idea.
yeah, of course. We're gonna talk about our lists if they're different. I don't know if you've changed anything, Byron, but it'd be interesting. I certainly have. We've also got the lists have been published today for the event, so we'll go through that and show you who's attending and what's there, and then just bemoan our choices because I'm the only Ossiarch Bone Reaper player and Byron's the only Head Knight of Sinesh player at the event. So
Yeah, that's after a quick Control F. So there could be some people who are going to slot in, but we're not going to be one of many, that's for sure, and
no,
possibly will be one of one, which is almost certain.
so best in
I wonder
faction
why.
secured. Disclaimer: there's no award for this. So we're just
No, there isn't.
going. So I actually got to play a practice game with Ossiarch Bone Reapers against, which is what I've got up on the screen, which was with the list that it's with the new list that I've taken. So you can probably see there's Arcan in the shot. In the middle, there's 2 harvesters. There's no catapult. I've got some stalkers. You don't see those on the table. And I'm playing against Iron Jaws and James, who came around for a game of AOS 3, which was really cool of him, and we had a lot of fun. I got my the iron. I basically, just to tell you a little bit of what happened in the game. This Maw Crusher at the back that you can see in the middle basically flew into my left side, killed my stalkers straight away, so they didn't even get to move, let alone do anything.
The curse of the new model.
Well, to be honest, I didn't expect them to do like anything anyway, but I didn't expect him to go gun ho into that. I thought he'd go into the middle of the board, to be honest. Anywho, he also had +3 to unbind, which was like horrendous. And basically killed my stalkers, and I then countercharged with everything except for the harvester, which failed its charge because you can only use the movement boost once. So the unit in the front, the 20 Mortec, kind of almost they got there because they got the +3 inches. The harvester failed its 6-inch charge, which meant that there was no coming back rolls for the Mortec, which then the Maw Crusher basically deleted everything. And after I left it on a wound over 2 turns, but I did kill it eventually. And I'll just show you like sort of later in the game. So basically, Arcan came over to the top and caused havoc by taking the objective. This was the one where you can burn objectives for points, I just basically went in and cleared out all of James's wizards while my 10 Mortec and Harvester held up half his army, because that's what they do. And my Bone Type
Did Arkan do that with combat and other stuff, or was
pretty much combat? So he's like the perfect. That's why I've put him in the list, because he's like fast. Because I know we talked about the cavalry. He's kind of like the cavalry in combat with the magic and the healing.
Yeah.
So he basically flew over the top and killed a load of wizards, which was good. The Bone Type Shrieker stopped the big unit of Ard Boys using Inspiring Presence, so they all ran away, which was nice. And yeah, I managed to win out the game, but it was a close run thing, really. But yeah, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Obviously, I'm playing against a combat army with no shooting, so it kind of plays into
it's what you want to be.
It's what I want to be doing.
From, really, don't you?
Yeah. But it was good. Yeah, so you can see the 6 objectives. I ended up burning the back ones because it was but we sort of worked out that I was down early on the grand strategy, because I did the one to kill his Maw Crusher and I failed it, and I was like, that wasn't a good idea, really, but it was a bit ballsy. I could have done an easier one, but I thought, well, let's just try and kill it, because I'm going to try and kill it anyway, so let's try and get rid of it. But yeah, it was a good game. It was a good practice game. Gave me confidence that the list changes was the right choice.
Yeah. I will be painting my army with Iron Brew and vodka, very possibly.
I've got to imagine it when I turn up to yours on Friday. I'm going to be helping you paint.
The entirety of downstairs is just like the fallout from a comet of.
Yeah. So do we want to talk about lists and stuff, or do we go through your hobby stuff first?
Don't mind. What do you want to do?
Well, I guess I could just talk through the list that I submitted, which is different. Then we can go through the hobby. Then we can go through the army list.
Roll into OBR, and then we can talk about.
It's all about me. Oh, no.
Modeling.
So
hey, my keeper is going to be all about her if she's on any tables.
Yeah, it is definitely. It's yeah. Well, I was going to say you haven't gone Pretenders, but it's would have been to go into your armor of arrogance, which is what I'm going to need to win any games, I think. Hey Matt.
Hey Matt.
So basically the Manchurian Carnage next weekend, 2,000 points, five games match play at Element. So Byron's familiar with that place.
I heard it's really good.
I've heard
handsome owner as well.
I've heard there's a really good affiliate link you can use. That just you click down below. So you can see that this is me. So let's look at my list. So I hopefully this works, because I haven't actually prepped it. Yay! So I've changed a few things.
That's kind of for Russ.
Yeah, Russ, you are, yeah. But press ganging everyone. So I've gone for Petrifex Elite, which we talk about, and it's just what it is. Ignore the Triumph, because I'm never going to get one. Grand Strategy, I've gone for Beastmaster, which is keep a monster alive, which is a bit of an unusual one for OBR, but I kind of thought it was better than the battle line.
But I mean, they're going to be behind the battle line, so if you're thinking of it in waves, right, they're going to be the last thing that people reach.
And Arkan's going to be flying around being a knobhead, so yes, Matt, you should try and get in.
I saw your name on the list, Matt. Wasn't your name on the list?
I think it was someone else with a similar name. I don't know.
Could be a
different map. I don't know. If he is coming, that'd be amazing. So I went for Arkan. So that's kind of the change point from the list I did on the show. It's quite a big one.
You do love him, though. It's hard for you to leave him, isn't it?
I never want to leave Arkan. It's like that. It's that relationship that keeps on giving. Everyone gets worried about Curse of the Years. It literally does nothing every game. But he's cool. Now the reason I went reliable casting, reliable unbinding. Currently, you can stack Mystic Shield, so nice defensive thing. Get access to all the lore.
Push your range by 6 inches with his command ability.
Yeah, and you're going to have so much relentless discipline, you just cannot spend any anywhere, so you might as well just use it on every ability every time you can, because you're never going to run out. I had so many points left over, I didn't know what to do with them. I've never felt like that with a resource in a game before. Obviously, I think that might get fixed, but at the moment, I've got so much RDP, I can kind of give my opponents some. So it's always like, I might as well use this ability. I don't have to think about it because I'm going to have enough resources.
Well, there's got to be some bonuses for for OBR. If I play you, I'm sure my army would be overjoyed at your surplus of DP.
I'm not sure. Yeah, you would love that. Love that relentless double penetration. Oh, that's not what it stands for.
Might do. If I attack twice with Sigvald, that may be what it feels like.
That would probably feel like double penetration to me, but there you go. I've gone for a Liege Cavalos for the RDP, but I say mainly it's for the attack command ability and some damage. Arcan does healing.
Just like a mini linchpin, isn't he?
Yeah. He's cool. Mortison Soul Mason, which is the wrong trousers guy. If actually you know about Wallace and Gromit. I went for the Gothazar Cartouche for the +1 to wound bubble, which I'm not sure about. It's probably not going to be that useful. I think I'm better off with +2 wounds, which is the Throne of Drenched. But I just thought, fuck it, let's go for the damage because I'm going to need it. Then 20 Mortec, 10 Mortec, 10 Mortec. All in hunters, so they can't be stomped.
Yeah, big deal, I think.
Bit of a renegade choice. I've gone for 3 Stalkers. Never used them. Built them when they come out. I got 6 of them. I never painted them. I've painted 3 now. And I just think they're cool. Fuck it. Let's give them a go. See how they play. It might be. They're probably going to be the worst unit. They're either going to be the best unit or the worst unit in my army. But until I use them, you never know.
They're the type of thing that you just have to send after stuff that they are better than. But they probably like if you send them after stuff that they're better than, they'll munch through it and take 0 damage. And the moment you put them against something which isn't quite as much of a done deal, you'll probably feel slightly more shortchanged on their ability. But it's good to just have like a sweepy Lone Ranger unit available, isn't it?
Yeah, and I like the idea of going in with the extra damage, the extra rend. They could do reroll saves. It doesn't cost you RDP. I also get to use my cool little dial that I got from Pro Painted, which tells me what aspect they've got on, so I can like wheel the aspect round. So we've got all the 4 different aspects, which is cool. Thanks, Matt, for sorting out my icons. So, so like the Stalkers, I don't know. I've played 1 game with them. They died before they got to even attack, but they did a job by pulling the Maw Crusher in, so maybe they're worth. I think 180 points are not too bad. Then double Harvester in the Alpha Beast pack, purely because some of the missions you need monsters. They give you easy ways to do those combat. They're called combat tactics, battle tactics. That's the word.
Tactics, yeah.
They also 10 more tech in Rounder Harvester is oppressively good because of the healing. They do mortal wounds. They got a little shooting poke. I just don't rate the catapults now. And I've gone for Emerald Life Swarm and Bone Tithe Shrieker. Emerald Life Swarm is so good for Ossiarch Bone Reapers. Getting to do triple healing. Yeah, I agree, Matt. I think Harbingers are a better choice, but I didn't have the 5 points, which was so 5 points more expensive.
Painful.
And then I wanted to take Bone Tithe Shrieker because the +1 to hit, and the can't use Battle Shock or Rally, and then the Emerald Life Swarm. Now, in hindsight, probably should take something. I could have put Helm of the Ordained on the Cavalos, which gives him the +1 to hit bubble anyway. And then I would have to drop the Gothazar Cartouche. And then what I could do is swap the Shrieker down to Shackles to give me an answer to Gotrek. And it would give me 20 points less, which allows me to take the Wound Triumph. So it would kind of like switch the army about a little bit. But
bit of a shuffle, isn't it?
It's much of a muchness, though. At the end of the day, it's still going to do similar.
I think that so this is a solid, well-rounded list, isn't it? This one.
Yeah, it's going to be really good against Monster Mash armies that are and Bravery 10. It's going to be bad. I just looked at the list. It's going to be bad. But hey ho.
I don't know. You say that you're gonna in some game you're gonna double charge 2 harvesters into into a giant and then finish him off somehow or some ridiculous stuff like that. I'm waiting for stories.
There needs to be some stories. If the story's going to be Gotrek's waddled into my army and killed everything, then I'm going to be at the bar a lot. So, but that's what I've done with my army list. So I you know, it's a slight change. Arcan basically went in. I think he's almost an auto include. The healing's too good. The magic's too good.
Reliable casting is just a thing.
It's fast as well.
And dispelling. You know,
that's the main.
He does a lot of stuff.
He does a lot of work. He's just a boy, isn't he?
On the plus side, as far as he's concerned, I didn't notice. I only skimmed briefly the lists about 15 minutes ago, but I didn't notice many Teclises in there or anything like that. And I don't think. Yeah, I don't think there's a particularly large amount of like mega. I saw an Anagash or two maybe. So I don't think there's many people out there who are like super. My casting is amazing. It's not. That doesn't seem to be the theme of the event. The theme seems to be Gotrek.
Yeah. I know Matt's son's a bear. Matt might be a problem.
There's a few Beast Claw kicking about, which
there's
I guess is kind of like the same
which is
theme.
an issue as well. But I'm just
having said that, you know, weathering Mournfang shouldn't be something that your army struggles to do.
It's the stone
well
ones.
If you can
Mournfang.
if you can.
Mournfang.
I know, but I mean, if you can pin up the big stuff or concentrate on one of those or something like that, then I don't think you'll have problems with the rest of the army.
I'm just gonna like fuse my battle shields and then just hope I roll well and I spawn my 4-up harvester rolls and then I could just kill stuff.
I think that's
all I can do.
The plus side, even though you said those armies aren't great, they don't have shooting, and they have to do their stuff by hitting you. So yeah.
Yeah, that's the very true Militron if they've got the death keyword. Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be any death there, but I'll probably end up playing death all weekend. But actually, I'll be cool with that because I'd rather do that than play Gotrek. So, Nagash was an option.
Yeah. If people aren't completely clear what we're talking about, by the way, because people are chatting more about it in the UK, but people may be watching from wherever, this is Mancunian Carnage, which is next weekend in, it sounds like it should be in Manchester. It's in Stockport, which is pretty close. Run by Alex Ghostarm. I've linked the pack and the current list of lists in the description, so people can go and take a nose there.
Yeah, but Sean, that was mostly you guys from Detroit taking Sons of Bearmat, making them 25% of the field.
Yeah, if you turn up with 5 of the same army, the stats are going to get skewed, aren't they?
It was like the year before. There was loads in the gash. Don't know why, but
it's wouldn't happen. Jay, you missed us just going through Russ's list basically and chatting about the event that we're going to be going to. Yeah. My list has not changed particularly, although it might do depending on painty things. We'll see.
Yeah, but I'll just put it up quickly just so we got it. But it's basically Lurid Haze, Keeper.
My Lurid Haze, Keeper, Sigvald, Contorted Epitome, Hellstriders, Bliss Barbs, Vanguard, Cogs.
Yeah,
it's my one.
Nice.
Which
I've got more wounds than you. I got more wounds than you.
Most people have got. What's he got? 88 or something?
88. I got 92. Which is all
about 100. Yeah, I used to every list I used to write was 100. It was 108 in the old edition. And things seem to have got slightly smaller, although they could
apart
just
from
be,
Suns, which are still like at 140 or something ridiculous.
Yeah, could just be my battle tone where where you've gone down to 88 wounds.
Yeah.
But
you've got to pay the premium for those 6-up save Bliss Barbs.
Exactly, they are worth all of their 18 points a model.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, pretty cool.
Cheap.
You're one drop, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. I mean, a large part of the army is I know what everything in there does. It's not too complex, Slaanesh isn't an easy army to play in general, but there's not too much of a variety of units in there, and quite a lot of it is about, potentially being able to have some fun with Sigvald and getting some good stories. So we will see if that is doable or not.
I would say I'll get some Curse of the Year stories, but I think the story will be I cast it and did a mortal wound, and that's it.
Every now and again you're gonna cast it and you're gonna be like, I did 7.
Yeah.
Still a big deal when it happens, isn't it? Like anytime you can.
The problem is now if you get an after save, you get to take it before you roll the next set of dice. So
yeah,
and then you always fail on a 1 as well, anyway. So
Yeah, it did tip the odds, didn't it?
I
Quite
think it's
largely.
pretty bad now, but so
Sean Clark, 142 wounds. Nice.
Sons of Air, man, it's easy.
That'll do it.
4 giants, no waiting. He had some mini ones in that. I could do the math. He had some mini giants in that one. Yeah, so like quite interesting. So we've got going down the list. There's quite a lot of like slaves. You know, Ogre Mortrops are very
yeah.
popular. Daughters Ideneth, sons Seraphon are very popular. I think Seraphon and ogres are the most represented. We've got a death army. Mostly it's all destruction. Daughters,
Yeah,
Seraphon,
there's not much.
Fire Slayers,
There's not much
Seraphon.
death at all, really.
No.
And
Order.
outside of Slaves to Darkness, Chaos also, I believe, was not hugely represented at all. Actually, like Destruction's gone up a notch, and then Chaos has gone down a notch in terms of representation.
There's not that many Chaos armies there. You got like a Demons as Inch army. Tony Moore's got Ideneth, which is just like traitorous and weird, but he's got some sort of vampire lore. I think he's doing a video on their channel, the Marauder channel. So
the Bretonian E.
Right. Okay. I'll be interested to see that. It's quite cool. It's kind of like got a little bit of a narrative spin, this event, hasn't it? So
yeah, it has. No, Tony was talking to me about it the other day. It actually sounds quite cool. So he's got some like questing night vibes going on, and things doing stuff on the charge on the right size bases kind of fits into IDK. So that's where he's got the idea for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to do a video on the Marauder channel where it's already done it, where he talks about his army in detail. So if you want to check that out, you can head over there.
They've also got a video of the breakdown of the pack, in case anyone's interested in seeing some people discuss the nuances of it. Pretty good watch.
Yeah, I was going to do that next actually. Not to that level of detail probably, but yeah. So there's a couple cities, but I mean, there's a lot. I mean, the thing is really when you click through the armies, any of the order ones, most of them have got Gotrek in it, which is just sad.
Notably large amounts of Gotrek. I think he needs something needs to be done about Gotrek at this level.
Legends.
It's, if he's that much of an auto include, or doubling his points or something,
just put him in the
not
bin.
Anything too much. We
just
know
you're him.
Whatever we
put him back in the world that was and leave him there. Warhammer Old World is coming out. Just leave him there. Put him on a square base.
It's going to have to be somewhere between your opinion and my opinion on this one, because we know that you are slightly biased one way where that man is concerned. I think he does what he should do thematically, but he is far too efficient and far too reliable, and he's better than Marathi, and Marathi's incredible, and the fact that you can take both of those in the same army is vomit-inducing.
It is disgusting.
It's absolute filth. It's a joke. He shouldn't be able to heal. He shouldn't be quite as reliable as he is. He maybe doesn't need to go twice. Maybe he doesn't need a 3-up after save, or he could be 200 points more. I was chatting to us about this earlier, and I would say, like, as far as like low wound heroes on foot who are melee beasts goes, Sigvald is a really good. He is solid AF. I'd say he's like on like reliability, damage, durability. Like he's like 8, and Gotrek's just like 11.
It's the Spinal Tap of Warhammer.
He is absolutely. He's the Spinal Tap of melee. If he can get there, he'll do it.
Problem is, there's a lot of armies that don't have any answer but melee.
Yeah. Well, I think in a field which is so destruction heavy, you'd have to bet on the side of the Gotrek armies here. Like, I mean, Beastclaw Raiders, lol. Sons of Behemat, lol. Anything kind of like getting raw. Gotrek is an extremely good answer/antidote too.
I generally think the best fix for him would be that he can't use heroic actions, can't use command abilities, can't receive command abilities.
I think he should just be his own dude. He is in the rules. Like, he's kind of like Kragnos, but good. I have read these books actually. Like, this is I'm going to beat you on Fluffross. How does this sound? First time for everything. But if
it's to do with Gotrek, it's from the old world, so it doesn't matter.
I love Gotrek. I read most of those books. So anyway, whenever he doesn't have Felix, so that's the only thing he should ever have,
He's
or
got a
maybe Matt
ham-sized
Shrive with the
fist, though,
Wizard.
right? That's,
He does have ham-sized fists. I think he's got part of Felix's armor on his shoulder now, and that's where he gets the 3-up ward from, which is a really good
Why
shoulder
not?
plate. Anyway, yeah, he's always kind of like a force unto himself, and then other people try and keep up, and all they can do is just guard his back because he's just wading in. He is Kragnos, but a good dude for the forces of order. So thematically, I think he should be able to benefit from nothing, just nothing, flat nothing. Turn up, you cannot heal him. Yeah, you definitely, the heal is stupid. Cannot heal him, you cannot improve his save, you cannot do anything. He just rocks up, rocks forwards, and hits shit as hard as possible, and is more survivable than anyone would expect, and hits harder than anyone would expect. And I think that would feel a lot more in line with where he should be thematically, as well as on a balance level.
I just think, like, fundamentally, if every single order army can take him, and you look at every single order army, and you just look at him and what he does and his points cost, he's an auto include in every order
There's
army.
no reason to not take him.
Why would you take a giant mercenary over Gotrek?
Like, he doesn't come from the sky, so will he fit my Stormcast? Yes, he will. Start him on the board and walk him up the board. It's fine.
You just run towards one of the objectives you don't want your opponent to have.
Yeah, exactly.
I know he's been before, but he can still run, right? And then he's there. And he can fight twice. He'll make up for it later in the game.
I think, imagine if every army in order could take Marathi, there would be some debate because of her points cost. There'd be some debate because of her points cost, but you would have to justify not putting her in your army because she is that good. Both of her are that good. That's part of what makes it so good. Now there's two of her, and Godric's like that, but he's cheaper, and he's nearly as survivable, much more damagey. You don't have to have any coherency stuff going, and you just pop him down and he does his thing.
The thing is, he's on such a small base, it's so hard to bring a lot of attacks to bear against him.
Yeah, and of course benefits from lookout sir cover, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, list goes on.
He's a beast.
Bullshit. So
if I can kill one this weekend, I would be pleased with that. And I think
I just don't want to play him 4 games out of 5. Like, I just literally would just be like, come on, guys.
On the plus side, anything that invulnerable does encourage people to play very badly, I feel. So
sometimes it just doesn't matter, does it? I mean, I find it funny.
Sometimes it doesn't.
Just move away from him. My movement 4 Mortec guard to be limping away, going, no.
Imagine Beast of Chaos against him. At
least they can shoot him.
Here's my Bestigor, and he's like, hi. What if I turned up with 4 units of 40 Ungor Raiders, do you think Gotrek would care?
No.
No, he still wouldn't die.
No. And the thing is, I don't like Gotrek is fine, right? From a character point of view. If your people really love Gotrek, then I'm taking because of the love for this model and I love Gotrek. That's cool. But people aren't taking him for that. They're taking him because he's broken. And everyone who never took him before is now suddenly a fan of Gotrek. And then when you talk to them about it and you go, it's BS, they just go, I've always loved Gotrek. I've read all the books. It's like, shut up. Shut up. You know what you're doing. Stop it.
I think he behaves exactly how he should do. It's just he's too efficient for it. Yeah, and it's too unrestricted.
Since when as a character? This reminds me of Thoric Ironbrow back in the old Dwarf book where they released him, and it was like Anvil of Ancient Power every turn on a free.
I can see that some works.
And then it was like he went to 1 GT, and I think it was 9 out of the top 10 was Thoric list, and there was 40 at the event. I mean, this is going back to a time when Siren Song Demons or Dark Elves or Don't Bother was basically the game when you didn't comp it, and that's why all TOs comped Warhammer in the independent scene. There was always a comp pack, there was always restrictions, there was extra stuff layered on top. I don't want to go back to a world where that's necessary, but I almost think Gotrek is pushing that and going, you probably need to comp him.
He's separate. He's listed. I don't have my little book with me, but he's listed a separate bit of the book anyway, so I think he could have a separate bit of comp.
Yeah, Warhammer Legends, stick him in, put him in the bin. If you want to play in your garage and play narrative and upset your friends, you can use him then. But get out of my event.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Chase, that's correct. I think he was dropped down because people weren't taking him, but the fact that he benefits from a large amount of stuff that's appeared in the game. So he was like his normality. He was like below, and then he's just gone like whoop.
I think it's just
But
you've had the combination factor of heroic actions, being able to do all out defense, all this sort of stuff,
yeah,
all on
yeah,
top of his, and he's gone down like 100 points. Like every hero got better, and every hero generally went up. He went down. Like,
yeah.
what is that about?
And not by a small margin either. Not many heroes went up by 25%. But
No,
yeah, that's
I love
probably
the
enough.
yeah, enough. Let's not bash on him too much. But I do hate it, everything about it.
If I play one, I will try my best to kill him to get a good story out of it.
If I
I
play
promise
him, I will
everyone.
probably just cry into a beer and then spend the next 4 weeks campaigning to get him banned from every event. No, I'm kidding. No, I mean, like, it would be nice if something was done about it, but I don't
Chase,
know.
I completely disagree, dude. I think his limiting multiple wounds to one wound is plus a 3 up save after save. I think that is too much to be on any model in the game. Maybe it should be like half wounds rounding down or something, but you know, there could be something. Right. What should we move on to next?
So Gotrek is not fun. No.
Stop it.
So we talk about the pack, so a little bit. So
Yeah.
There's a little bit of, it's basically out the book with a couple changes. So one is that you've got to have your first artifact from your battle tome. Obviously grand strategy, but that's normal. Now he's going to have the wheel, which will spin and will pick the scenario, which is quite cool. It's like a wheel of fortune. I've seen him. He's been
Yeah,
going
I
about
like
this
that.
for
I think
a
that's a
long
great touch.
time. And the Realm of Gur rules are going to be limited. That basically the command ability spell Predator and Prey are not in play. But the battalion options and objective removal are in play. So it's just half of it isn't being used. So you can't fight at
I
the
can
top of your
see.
profile. And
Yeah, I can see why as well. So I watched the Marauders video about this where Alex gave his opinion. He just said, "There's so much new stuff in the game at the moment. He doesn't want people to be gotcha'd." Whereas those things that you've outlined, they are on someone's list at the start of the game, and someone can say, this is part of my list. It works like this. So the oh surprise, I remember these things exist. He didn't want that to be part of it, which I think as TO, it's absolutely fine to do that.
yeah, um, I think again this is his event and it's house rules, so why not do it?
Yeah, exactly.
There's battle plans is going to be decided by the wheels we've talked about. There are some painting points. There's some lovely extra painting bonus points. And then basically you've got these secondaries which are different. So they're not battle tactics. They are secondaries that you basically pick during the game. So I think you got to pick them for the game before you start, and they're all kind of themed. So you basically, before you pick your table side, you share what it is, and these give you lots of tournament points. They're quite important. They're a little bit funny, a little bit themey. So you've got like put a stopper in death, unbind a spell at least 5 of your opponents successfully cast spells. My precious, maintain control of objective for the entire game. I drink your milkshake, gain control of any or all objectives within your opponent's territory. The needs of the many, ensure your general or highest pointed single model is dead before the end of the battle. Nominate before deployment. Never tell me the odds. Win the game, but with a lower kill point score than your opponent. Because in this, I think he wants kill points, which is a bit weird, but hey ho. Unleash Hell, destroy one of your opponent's battle line units exclusively using shooting magical range. Obviously, not one for me. Just one to tell the tale. Leave your opponent with no more and no less than one hero by the end of the game. Suffer not the witch. Slay all your opponent's single model casters or prayer invokers. Still only counts as one. Slay your opponent's highest pointed behemoth. By Grabthar's hammer, you shall be avenged, which is a great quote from Galaxy Quest. Destroy the unit which is responsible for the death of your first hero before the end of the game.
Cool.
Yeah, they're sort of a bit of fun. I volunteer as tribute, ensure the hero with the lowest number of wounds survives the battle, whilst the one with the highest dies. And then witness me have all your cavalry mounted units in melee before the end of the second battle round. You need at least 2. So they're a bit of fun, worth quite a few tournament points.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I'm just looking at them thinking, wow, Sinesh is bad at this stuff.
yeah. I looked through and was like, okay, whatever. But I just thought it's fine. It doesn't really matter. I can kind of in my head I can compartmentalize that stuff anyway, so I can kind of look at it because I'm not going there to try and win the event or anything like that. I'm going there to play some games with my OCR Bone Reapers and try some stuff
How
out.
the game works.
Just have a bit of fun really, and just like let off some steam.
Yeah, Grace. Alex has put some good love into these. It's he's sprinkled that throughout the pack.
Yeah, and like I think it's cool, and I'll try and do it in the right spirit. I think Witness Me would be quite funny for me because that means Arcan and my Cavalos need to be in combat on turn 2, which I would definitely try and do that in one of the games.
So, that's cool. Isn't
it's
it?
like
we need to get some baking
going,
spray.
Yeah, just the chrome Arcan up. Don't spray my Arcan with silver paint if I'm at the venue, please. That's silver like lead belcher. Like Witness Me. Yeah, which is cool. And there's some sports points and army painting and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. So it's fairly simple.
Yeah.
5 games, no waiting. But it's quite nice that the those aren't too bad because you pick them once per battle, and I'm not sure they're important, but I'm not sure that people will get all of them.
If it comes down, you get points for denying your opponent theirs, and for getting yours. It's another level on it. I think it's nice. And if they make the difference on who wins, I don't think anyone will mind that. It's you read it in the pack and you turn up and you can completely ignore them if you want and just be like, oh shit, I'll do this one, or you can be a strategist like Mr. Moore and plan out 17 years ahead, which I'm sure he's already doing.
Yeah, not for me. Like,
it's I've got to paint my army.
You're not worried about
just my army. Like, step 1 is turn up, right?
yeah. Like, get models on the table. We'd have to like channel the spirit of Ben Diesel from back in the day. Wet on the table. It's gonna be a thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Should we go through like your hobby journey stuff, or should we show what we've? Please bear in mind, I'm just flicking through loads of photos, which I'll talk about in a bit. But okay, so I've got your keeper. So you're converting your keeper, aren't you, with wings?
Yeah. So she's now got 2 wings. She's had 1 wing for a really long time. That may sound a bit weird, but it's a really if I can pull this off, I think this will be the best looking model I have ever converted by quite a way. And that's not because I've not put loads of effort into other models. I did the really over the top kind of strange Vermin Lord Corruptor conversion a while back that had more sculpting on it and a crazy base and stuff like that. But this just works. And the reason this one works is because the Marathi's shoulders and the Keeper shoulders share really similar anatomy, as of the arms. Just generally, they look like they could be from that model, and I feel it kind of makes her it levels up that model to a level where it looks like a final boss in a computer game. I think it's just so over the top and dramatic, which is completely appropriate for Slanesh that I really like how it looks. So that shoulder was attached. I just need to smooth that out a bit, and then all I need to do after that is figure out, which I bought a heat gun for, which I'm really worried about, exactly how to make the robes go between the shoulder blades, which is going to be a bit of a tricky thing because it'd be a shame for her to not have, her hands holding her robes behind her like she's meant to. But yeah, she should look pretty. Like, half the reason for her being in at her ridiculous points value is that I just want to put it on the table. Like, I spent so long thinking about that, and then over a very drawn out period doing it.
So you're going to melt the top because the shoulder, the robe doesn't quite line up, does it? Because of the wings in the way. So you're going to melt that round.
No. So there's a couple of things I can do. Where have I got the piece? The piece is somewhere. There's a little joining point which my thumb is covering on that picture very perfectly. which is
Yeah.
incredibly fragile. I could snip that out and bring the robes slightly closer to each other, and then cut a hole for the tail to go through because they would have been drawn too close for the tail to be able to fit through, and that might almost get me there. So my thinking is that I could do that, and then heat gun the little bits to just kind of be nudged inside of the wings.
Right.
But it's ugh, it's a difficult thing to make work. So basically, I've got the heat gun if needed. I will try and get there without it. I think there's like an 80% chance that I'm going to need to try using that. It's either that or do some graphic resculpting, which I could do, but if I do that, then it will have to be attached to the model, and I want to paint that shit separately because
because it's
that's
going
not
to
the type of
block
piece.
all the robes, isn't it? So like, the only thing
It's
you
going to
could
be
do is airbrush it,
a nightmare.
glue it together, then sculpt the bit that, like, if you're going to do like a ring through the back,
Yeah,
that you could literally airbrush the model separately, put it together, then just redo that little bit where it joins, because it wouldn't be that bad.
sculpt over it and around it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is an option. And I'm all right at sculpting enough that I could do that without it looking poo, and then base coat it by hand.
Yeah, you could have
cover
just
it
done a
over.
Gotrek and you would have been fine, right? You could have just like same points. No, I think it's funny because you're doing an army in like a week and you're doing this massive conversion that you think you're spending time on.
Yeah, Alex said the same thing. He was like, "What? You're doing significant conversions as well. You're an idiot." And I can't
Yeah.
disagree.
No, I don't disagree. I think you are, but you've gone with some. I thought this was quite interesting because you've done like a Shattered Dominion base for your keeper, but you've managed to get it to look like a big Shattered Dominion base rather than just bits stuck on a base, which is quite clever.
I'm not proud of that one actually.
Yeah,
that kind of happened by accident. Because you get these thick, chunky bits in Shattered Dominion, and you get these thin ones that look a bit more crap, if we're honest.
Yeah.
So on that picture there that you've got on screen, the ones at the bottom that have got the bits that look like they're from scenery.
Yeah.
What was the Dreadstone Blight Tower or whatever it's called? It had that kind of compass thing in the middle. Those chunky bits. I think they look better visually, but the thin ones you can cut through. So I've just glued them all to the base, like sticking over the outsides of the base. Let it dry a bit. That's quite important. Leave it like an hour. Flip it over, press it down real hard, and then be prepared to sacrifice at least one knife blade in the process of cutting around. And I guess after like 10 or 12 passes, you'll probably just cut all the way through one piece. If it's a big one, you might have to do it in a couple of sections and then just snap it off and pull them off, and then you can sand it around the edge. Yeah, it's come out fairly well, I think.
Yeah, almost like, because obviously you don't get a base that size, you just get the bits, and so like you
don't get any of the bases that aren't a conventional size. I didn't realize.
So you've done similar with like the Varangard, haven't you? So you've done the similar things. You can see them in this shot where
three of them have got nice ones, and then 3 have got slightly more rough ones, but that'll do, I think.
Yeah, I think it's quite nice because you can see the units are different then, right? You've got like because
that's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, that was totally what it is. I was like, so you decided to do these just for speed, right? And then ended up doing like bespoke convert.
Well, so
quicker,
I
right?
didn't have to build all the crap in the middle, but I didn't realize that the middle size of cavalry base. I just assumed that when you bought cavalry bases, it'd be small cavalry, and then like large cavalry and not chariots. But instead, we've got small cavalry and then tiny chariots.
Makes an ass of you and me, as you assumed.
Yeah, it's stupid.
I still like
I could have read it.
Flaps on your organizer, your little name badge.
Yeah, absolutely. I could have read the box, and that would have made my life easier. A few helpful people have also pointed out that my Blissbarb archers are going to be on 25 more bases instead of 28. I'll get some rings made, but honestly, if anyone cares about my unit of pathetic archers being 3 mil on the wrong bases when they run into them and kill them in one go, I can, I'll have removed them by then anyway. It really won't matter.
You just spread.
If we're worried about, yeah, exactly. But I think I'll just get some little rings made, and then if someone is finicky with that type of stuff, I can just put one around each base, and that'll be correct spacing wise.
Yeah, you could just get a little.
Grace here, I don't make things easy for myself.
Well, you've got your Blissbarb archers, where technically have made it easy for yourself because you've decided to use Demonet models with 3D printed bows. So
yeah, I prefer how I like
I
how the
think they
Blitzbarb
look
archers
cool.
look, but they're busy and they look like they should be from a 5-man warband because everyone's a character. And I like these guys. I think they it would look cool if, and I don't know, I've never considered this before, but I really like how archers look when they're walking and not shooting, just someone holding their bow.
Mm.
And there's something really martial and elegant about someone walking to war carrying a bow or whatever. Um, so I think I'm gonna see if I can get some non-drawing offhands. So I can have some that are just striding into battle, looking elegant and Slaneshi. And then if I run 20 at any point in the future, I'll make the next 10 will have those arms and I'll be able to mix them up. Or have, like a walking unit and a shooting unit or something like that.
Yeah, it's really cool. I think it's. I mean, the Blitzbarb Archer models are really nice, but to build them just takes an age.
Oh, grim. I opened that box and I closed it.
What are you doing for your little dude with the little? Are you just going to use the
I
model
don't
out
know
the
whether I should
Blitzbarb
use
Archers? Or...
him or not.
Probably.
Yeah, because I've got them and he's kind of characterable, isn't he? So I
Mm.
might pop a couple of him in there, or I could just have an extra demonette which doesn't have a bow or something like that.
Yeah, I do like the little like gimp guy with the burning incense. I think it's cool. So if you've got the models
He's the
anyway,
best part of that box.
yeah.
Yeah, I've got them and I've opened both the boxes, so
Yeah, so you might as well. Use your
exactly, yeah.
gimpy thing. And you've pretty much assembled everything, right? I mean, like your core army, you almost there. I mean, this is I don't know when the
I
shot was,
am
but you're today, I guess. But
I am keeper completion and 1.2 Vanguard off done as far as the main army goes. Having said that, my summoning pool is also fully assembled because I have some demonettes that I got secondhand that are already prepped. So they're sat waiting now for the end of things, which will double the amount of models I have to paint for the army, but I think I can probably get away with a bit more on the summoning pool. You have missed the lists pro to pro.
yeah, you can check them on the Manchurian Carnage website thing, which I'll link again, so you can click on our
Here's a
names in
list.
that list. But yeah, so pretty cool. Sigvold epitome. So Vanguard should be fun. How are you going to paint this then in a week? Like, what are you actually going to do? Like, have you thought about it?
So currently, now people have said that I've made my life not particularly easy with the basing, but those bases are now at like the ideal point for speed painting. So I don't think the basing will be any issue whatsoever. And I could pick I think there might be jade color wise the bases. So I could go like a pastely jade. Like maybe start with Cabalite green and then highlight it up with adding some bone in or something like that. And I like dry brushing. People may be aware of this. That should be quite fast. Like black rim's done. All the bases have been scraped. That'll be quite fast. The rest of it, I will have it's going to be a bright army, so I'll have like a peach to purple transition on the flesh parts, which will be done with airbrush and or dry brushing, and then I'll wash it, and they will probably get darker towards their hands. So I quite like how that looks on things,
Yeah.
or feet, and feet. And then metallics, which I expect to be the most time-consuming part of the model, will be base coated black, painted silver, and washed to color. I may, depending on the size and scale of the metallic bits in question, get out the airbrush and some inks and nuance them with purples and blues or magentas or something like that, and then wash them and have that kind of going on underneath, again with them getting darker towards the tips or something. And then the final idea I had, which I think kind of fits really nicely with Slanesh, but I don't know if it'd just look weird, would be if I did the bases in, let's say, like a pastely jade color. If I put blood spots and smears on the bases but had none on the Slanesh, like that idea of someone just walking through battle surrounded by carnage and they've caused it, but somehow they don't have a drop of blood on them. Like the Sigvold idea where he's just like spotless and in his wake is just death and he's like, well, I look magnificent. I quite like the idea of that. So depending how the army looks when I get to the end, that's an option that I could do on the basing in addition. But I think there's the hyper, the Vanguard, which I'm holding one of now, the hyper textured stuff if the metallics are approached efficiently, I don't think there should be too much to worry about. So it'll be a matter of approaching the metallics maybe in like 4 steps, and then just base coat and wash everything else, or maybe like base coat, wash, repeat, base coat plus highlight color.
You can get it to a
Something like
point
that.
where you can go back and like upscale it. So you just need to get it.
Well, that's what I want to do. That's the main concern,
legal.
actually, is doing anything that isn't is doing anything that isn't reversible, because I'm really into this army. I do want it to look like properly lovely at some point. I have like animal print on it, or crazy, like the blotching people sometimes put on shoulders or things like that. I love to do something really special with it, so I don't want to do anything that I can't reverse.
Because you can just dot an ink and then like wait a little bit, then just take the center out with another brush, and you just left with the ring on. Just got an easy way of doing that.
But if I do that, but I didn't, like, I won't be able to do that on this iteration of the army, because what if I want to smooth the blending on the flesh underneath it or something? So I'm gonna have to I'll just have to get it to a point where I'm not gonna ruin me getting it to the next level over the next couple of months, or however long it takes to get it to the next level. I'll just have to get to that point and stop there, even if it means for this event that it could look slightly better but doesn't.
I feel like we need to have daily updates of like how haggard you look, how much your beard grows out, how like unkept you look,
wow. Yeah.
how frayed your brain is, your jumper is, as you're like, and your desk is like pristine in this, and at the end I want to see it covered in paint and flick marks.
It already I'm cleaning it like twice a day. I like it just. I'm cleaning it, and then the rest of the room's just getting more and more messy.
like just one bit is fine, but that's what I have when I do hobby. Like my desk is like, I just surround myself with crap. You can tell from behind me, like it just literally becomes like there's like all over the floor and all around me, in like around my chair, so I can kind of like spin and pick things up, and it just all falls to shit basically.
I've got that now. I've got like 5 different Shattered Dominion boxes around me. I've got a Be'lakor because I need to steal his base. Second Keeper of Secrets for backup. Place the Darkness box that I've thrown away because those knights can get in the bloody bin. What a horrible assembly that looks like. My God. More Vanguard. More Shattered Dominion. Yeah, they are. I worked out that I think you could cut them at the bits where they're really stupid and still leave shields off, which I think could make, they've got like a chain going to the shield and that's attached to someone's nose or whatever bullshit.
They're just not conducive for doing them quickly. Like if you want a unit done quickly, they're just not going to help you, because especially if you want ensorcelled weapons and you want command, like, it's
but it's I still think that I'll be all right. I may think differently on like Thursday.
No, I'm sure you've been. This isn't your first radio, is it? So let's.
It's not my first. Late to the party. You need to get to an event radio. No.
Yeah, you might not have any summoning, but you'll be fine, right? So.
Yeah, well,
as long as you've got 30 minutes, you should be all right, right?
But what if they don't match the army? I've never turned up. Yeah, I've never turned up like that before. I'm not sure how much people care, but I'll have to see. I might be able to.
You're playing Sinesh, dude. You're not doing it to be competitive, are you? Let's be honest. Like if it was Zinch, I might judge you more, but.
Okay, fair. I'll take a C tier pinch of salt with the coherency of my summoned units. Yeah. If people forgive me for that, maybe that'd be helpful.
You've done an army in a week, dude.
I will go with. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I reckon the Giant's going to make an appearance. That's my prediction. No.
Nah, because I've started building the Vanguard now, and I already did the process in my head. And because I've started building them, that means that I'll have wasted like 3 hours, which I can't afford to waste. Therefore, I have to use them. They have to be in the army.
Yeah, I've told Byron he's not allowed to put models together while we stream.
I'm looking.
I'm just going to keep the live stream going for as long as possible, so you get more behind.
Have you seen it'll be like the Family Guy where Peter Griffin's reading the funny magazine while he's driving or whatever, like the cartoon. He's like, "Oh, you can't eat all that pie," and I ends up crashing into a tree. It's like my hands are just like,
yeah, it's fine. So you've got your Gantt chart, which people can probably see behind your head as well.
Yeah.
I'm looking at
I
your
just need to add
photo,
bases to it,
and
and
I'm like, it's not
when I
much
add
different.
bases, like no, well,
No.
when I add, actually, I can. The thing is, I have to. This should be filled into here. The Vanguard are pretty much
Yeah.
done, and the Health Riders are done, but I have to wait until I'm recording it on camera to fill in the boxes. So
Ah, I
that's why
see.
that isn't.
Okay, that's why you've not updated it.
So we're not in a bad spot, and I can add another one that says bases, and then just fill it in all at once, which feels really cool. So yeah, we'll be onto the second column soon.
If you need to borrow a cogs, let me know.
Thank you.
It's not going to be based like your army, but you can borrow it. So I'm going to go through some of my stuff because I'm going to talk about me for a bit now. So
that's right.
Yeah.
So your stuff's got color on it, so you've been winning.
Yeah. So right, this is my OBR that I did ages ago. Now they are just dry brush with contrast over them. So they're just up through like Celestia Grey. This was when contrast come out. They were quite recent, and I did an airbrushed Basilicum Grey over the thing and dry brushed it twice, and then I just tinted areas either in black or Skeleton Horde or Leviathan Blue or Aphamatic Blue or the red cloth is just Baraknar Burgundy painted, not highlighted, and the bases were kind of this grey black, like not very interesting, and I didn't really know what to do, and I was gonna do them like my Death Army where I've got like the purple and the white flowers and all that kind of stuff. So I've got cavalry. They were in the list. I dropped those because they were painted, so why not have stuff I didn't have painted? So I had to buy, build, and paint a harvester. I had another harvester already built, but he wasn't painted. Life Swarm wasn't done either, so I've done this is the Crackle paint, the Gorilla and Earth stuff that I've put on to try and match the basin. I eventually got them primed, so that was what I had to paint, which was the 2 harvesters, the 2 endless spells. The character doesn't need to be done; he's dropped out the list. The stalkers, so I had them at this level, and I was like, right, that's what I need to paint. A bit of a spoiler, I jumped ahead. So basically, I've dry brushed them up and painted them. So this is my Emerald Life Swarm. So this is just up through Celestia Grey, Elfin Grey. This has actually got Nylax Oxide and Corellia Green Shade on it, and then I've just picked out the Dragonflies in Pterodon Turquoise and the Skull in Skeleton Horde. Not that exciting. It's just a lot of dry brushing. And then so this is my sort of progress. So you can notice the bases aren't painted; they're kind of grey, white from the airbrushing and just stuff like that. And there's characters in the background because he's been dropped out, so I stopped painting him because I was like, that's a waste of my time. But I eventually got all the stuff painted, and I was like, cool. This is just on top of my stack where these are just pictures of my phone that I was putting in the WhatsApp groups when we were chatting about our progress. So now Arcan. So I've got an Arcan. He doesn't really match my army. He was painted for my sort of old Legion of the Gash army. And then he kind of OBR come out, and I was like, well, I can put the flowers. You can see the purple and yellow flowers, and I did the basin similar. And I was like, I'll put the flowers on the OBR, but then I didn't bother because I was going to go back and do some more work on them. And they kind of get in the way. And then I was like, he's sort of purple armor, and I was like, yeah. Obviously, the rules have changed now, so Arcan can only be in Ossiarch Bone Reapers. So again, this is a very quick job. This is actually dipped with Army Shade, this model. So I was like, well, probably need to paint a new one. So I'm going to paint a new Arcan. This is the progress. So this is my Arcan at the moment. So I need to get cracking on that. But there you go.
You'll be good.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine. So I wanted to try different basins. So I painted 2 bases. I did one in a purple and one in like a JD green, which is actually Incubi Darkness to Lupercal from Horus to Fenrisian Grey. And I quite liked it. I think it looked quite nice. It presented a little bit of a problem, like what do I do with tufts? What do I do with... I want to put skulls on the bases because like, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's Death Army, And I think the purple would look nice, especially with
the tufts. You could always have skulls.
Yeah. And then I got this Deadland tuft, and I thought that looked pretty cool. So I'm probably going to do those. Ignore the dry brush, the rim's not done, but I was like, there, the Deadland tuft is pretty good. So I thought, actually, let's go for that. So I've done all the basing in this like jady green. This has done all of it now, so that's all done. Then I was like,
it's definitely my favorite by a long way. I think it
yeah,
sets the army off really nicely. It also echoes the eyes a bit, which I think is cool.
yeah, it's similar color palette. It's not the same, but it's similar. Like all the blades were going to be done in that Blackstone Fortress recipe, so I was doing that. So I did a bunch of skulls. Now these are from the Citadel skull sprue. I sprayed them black, dry brushed them on the sprue, clipped them off. That's why they've got these little like grey bits with plastic where I've taken the mold lines off. And then I've used my cutters, and I've got these very, it's just cork tiles for that stone. So I've got these, which are like these like really precision cutters, which you might be able to see. So what they're really good at is they've got one blade and then a block. They're quite expensive. They were like 40 odd pounds, but they're like precision cutters, and if you cut through a skull, it literally just shears it, and it's been pretty good. So I cut the skulls so they lay at funny angles, so they're not like you can see in this picture here. These have had like bits cut off of them, so they lay at slightly different angles. Glued them on the bases, so like round this, like on here. I haven't actually painted the skulls yet, so they'll be done like in the similar to the life swarms. They'll be done in this. It's literally just the grey with skeleton horde over. I will go back and highlight the army properly, but I just haven't had time.
Life Swarm looks really nice. I think that's going to turn out looking baller. The Life Swarm.
Yeah, I really like the way the life swarms come out. It's looking very nice. It dry brushes up very nicely. It's got lots of like veins on the wings and stuff. It's kind of there. They're not the God Hand ones, but I think they're like basically similar. So they are these are the clippers. You can get them on Amazon. If you want a link, then in our description we've actually got an Amazon storefront, and I added them to the essential hobbying supplies. If you want to see them, you can click on that link, go to our Facehammer storefront, go there. We get a little bit of a kickback, helps us if you want to buy some. If you heard it from us, it'd be appreciated. But they're the skulls. So obviously I've stuck them around the base. They haven't put the tufts on yet. I need to paint the skulls and wash them, so they'll be in that bone color. So they're going to match the bone color of the trim that I've got on the shields, on the armor. Because what I wanted to do when I did my OBI, I wanted to kind of reverse the color, so it wasn't creamy bone with grey bone trim. It was grey bone with creamy trim. I just thought it'd be cool. Prefer it that way. Look a bit more dark, a bit more sinister. Yeah, so the life swarm I think has come out really nicely. So ignore my wobbly contrast bit where I've spilled a little bit, but there you go. But yeah, that's sort of the base in detail. You can see it there. But I really like the way the colours come out, because it's kind of like a blue-grey.
It showcases them really nicely. Yeah, it's just perfect. It's spot on for their aesthetic. It's like the type of you'd expect to see that type of color in the background of an army book cover for Death. I think it's exactly what it could be.
The photos are a bit washed out, but it's essentially that shade of green. Whereas when you look at the OBR battle tome, it's kind of the green that's in the eye sockets and around the hike. It's like a jade bluish turquoise, which is kind of like I wanted to get that into the base, just inject a little bit more color in the army, because the problem is they look very grey, very boring, and I just wanted a bit more of a pop. So I'm really happy with how it's all turning out. So it's going really well. Almost there.
Nice to see you excited for doing stuff and attending an event. That feels like we've been recording for 2 years, missing what is probably the most important part of the hobby to us.
Well, it's massive for me. Like, massive motivation for me doing hobby is just having an event that allows me to go, right, I need to do this, need to do that, need to do this. And like my OBR, I painted for an event, team event actually, back in the day, and I haven't touched them since then. And I was always I rushed them out, and I was like, oh, I've got stuff I haven't painted. I didn't have a harvester done. I've got 2 catapults done. I've got catacross done. Obviously not in this list. And then like
decent way to an army now. You're like 3/4 of anything you could have in an army.
I've pretty much got everything. I've bought this. I picked up a new box of these to build the Immortech guard. because I've got another 3
Yeah.
stalkers assembled, so I've got 6 stalkers, but I'm going to build them as these chaps, the guard, just so I've got the option.
Yeah.
I've got some Morghast Archive somewhere. I think I've got like 8 of them. I did have 24 at one point, but I sold a lot of them. I did have some on sprue, but I sold those.
I can always send some back to you if you need more.
Oh,
I've got them
okay.
built
You've
in
got them.
both
Right,
variants.
okay.
Yeah, more
I
than
couldn't remember
would
where they
need
had.
now
Yeah,
as
I
well.
think I built a lot of them. I was going to do a list with like 12 in it, and I got rid of them. Well, we'll see. But I probably only want 2 of each type. So
That's
like 2
fine.
Harbingers and 2 Archive. I think I've got them somewhere. I've to check through my box pile behind me. But yeah, so and then I've pretty much got everything else. I've got another Cavalos. I've got all the heroes. One of the things I do want to do is Canine's Reapers, the Underworld Warband.
Oh yeah.
Actually, it's really good. Like they're really good. Like you get a 5 wound wizard, sorry, 6 wound wizard with like 5 attacks, damage 2. Like the big guy with the axe. He's a wizard character. Plus you get a
and he's cool.
He's cool as heck, right? And you get 5 Mortek Guard. One's got a bow, and they've all got rerollable saves. And you're like, okay, so they're Mortis Praetorian, but I was like, actually, you get a wizard hero and a unit for like 200 points, which is like
fine, absolutely fine.
That's like
a bit of a bargain.
Bargain for Bone Reapers, especially as the hero is a combat hero.
That feels like it's 40 to 60 points less than it could be easily.
Yeah, and like when points and units are at such a premium, it's a great buy. Like, I was just looking at, like, he's a wizard, and he's good in combat, and you're like, well, cool. So it gives me a best of both, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously unique.
Apparently you should be taking your Harbingers with halberds in units of 4.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I prefer the normal swords. But, yeah, you need the shields to get rerollable saves, but you just leave one of them on as the last one. So it's but yeah, it's good. I think the Canine Reapers, I mean, it's really cool. So I'm gonna paint those up because I got them. So I was like, well, let's paint those as well.
Why not?
And like I'm just kind of thinking, well, if I paint everything I've got everything I need. My Bone Type Nexus is done and everything already, so it's yeah. So a new Arcan to go with the new look army. I can go back and upscale the highlights. I want to highlight the cloth, highlight the armor, you know, do some work on the blades. But that can be done later, you know. So, but yeah, it's been nice to have a motivation to get ready for something, you know. So having an event to go to is kind of like, oh, well, I've got a reason.
This is why we do the hobby.
Yeah, yeah, and
yeah. Not that there's anything wrong with garage gaming or anything like that, but that's, you know, tournaments are a huge part of what we love about the hobby in general.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll just see if I can find Canaan's Reapers. So I'll take the War Scroll out. But they are pretty. I mean, models are awesome. Like, I love the Ossiarch Bone Reaper models. So.
Rivko's gaming, yeah. Deadlines help, dude. You think they will bring back Conrad or Vlad as Mortarks or some kind of death hero? They're doing a pretty decent job of resurrecting cool things from the past and bringing them into the future.
I think, like,
so I wouldn't be
the
surprised.
Von Karsteins, though, I don't think they will.
It's just too old world.
Well, I think they've already, like, they're represented by Manfred. So, like, I think they've I think it's actually written into the lore, so I don't think you'll see them back.
Oh, did they die again for the last time?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. So you've got Mir Kanan. I don't think these points are up to date because this is 190, but I think they might have changed it 3. So he's got 6 wounds with a 4-up save, 5-inch move. He's got a 4 attacks at freeze, rend 2, damage 2 with his axe.
Solid.
If he rolls a 6 to hit, it does D3 plus 1 mortal wounds and the attack ends.
That's fine.
And he's a wizard and can cast Arcane Bolt, Mystic Shield. And obviously, because he's an Ossiarch Bone Reaper, he'll be able to pick a spell from the lore. So yeah. I think he's not only does the model look amazing, he is absolutely a bargain for what you get, because you also get the Reapers. So you get 5 models. So it's only 5 wounds, but they got a 4-up save. You've got a Nadrite bow. They can reroll saves while they've got the models with shields. And if you roll a non-modified hit roll with the Nadrite weapon as a 6, it gets 2 hits instead of 1. So it's just like Nadrite. It's just like a unit of Mortec, really. It's like a little unit of Mortec.
Yeah. No, it's cool and it's cute and well pointed.
I think when you add up the attacks, I think it's the same as 5 Mortec. If you add it all together, I think it's still like, because it's 3 attacks and 2, then 2, then 1, then 2. They're all like 3s and 4s. Some wound on 3s. One's got extra rend. So it's kind of like slightly better, but not. It's a little bit like much of a muchness, really.
The nudge.
But I think like the fact you get a unit of like guys and a hero who's a wizard who's good in combat, you'd probably pay 190 points for Kanan on his own. Like, but to get the unit as well is like, it's really good. So something I've not really looked at before, kind of overlooked them a little bit.
It's nice that they're viable. A lot of them aren't, so I think that's really cool.
No, it's awesome. And like the bow shot, well, whatever. It's not like a big deal, right? So
no, but it's not a bad thing to have.
So
Shelty, whoever's taking Gotrek and Marathi can get in the bin. Well, not everyone can be Jack Davenport with his Kragnos Destruction Joy. That was my favourite list.
oh, is it? I'll have to have a look at that in a minute. I haven't really looked at the list yet, so it'd be interesting. I'm just gonna see how many points they are now. I'm assuming
When you go for that, I will control F for okay. So Jack Davenport, Kragnos, Frostlord, Huskard, they're both on Stonehorns. Mornfang, 2 Frost Sabers, done. That is a fighty army. Yeah, that's going to hit like an absolute ton of bricks. Love it.
I don't think they're in. Yeah, I don't think they're not in War Scroll Builder. I haven't got my book near me. I don't know how many points they are. Anyway, they're about 200. So, Jack Davenport's in the chat. Hi.
So, is he?
Yeah.
Sorry if we missed you before, Jack. Solid. Up the guts.
Is it? I did see like some of the lists have got names and stuff in it. So.
Well, Admiral will maybe we'll play each other.
Yeah, that's quite cool. I was interested in taking Kragnos. Nice to see him on the table. So
while you're doing that, let's see if I can do some.
I was going to click on John Dale's list. I know in full well before I click on it, it's going to be absolute filth. And it's
he's close to having finished it, which is great. But
Gotrek, there you go. Gotrek and Seraphon get in the bin.
What I'm talking about.
So
all right. So what we got here? We got there is Jack is 1 of 1 Kragnos at the event, which I'm honestly quite surprised at, given the type of event it is and the amount of destruction there. Just seems.
But he's not very.
Weird.
He's not very good. Like
no, but like plenty of people are just taking raw, fairly combaty armies, which he is obviously super solid in.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, we do have a KO army. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's 1.
Barak Zilfin.
There's quite a lot of ones so far, actually.
He's got it wrong already. He hasn't got phosphate bomblets, which is necessary just for lols. Gun hauler. Yeah, okay. Ironclad. Oh, warp lightning vortex in a bottle. Why not? Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, not too bad. I've seen it's quite weird because I look through the list and I'm like, there's a lot of people I don't know. Some people do know. And I'm just like,
yeah,
it's quite cool. I think the AD Mac looks like he's got slaves, so that'll be wonder what he's got in his list.
It's Marauders. It's not worth even discussing.
The spoilers with Marauders, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a load of. It's like 4 demon princes, no imagination. That is all type of list.
I don't think it's that bad. It's quite cool. I like it anyway. It's not as Tom Mosley with his army list is formatted in like a really wanky way because So yeah, Legion of the First Prince, Be'lakor, Kairos, Slaves to Darkness, Khorne Demon Prince,
I think
Sloppity Bar
genuinely it is.
Piper, 20 pinks,
That
10
that
plague
list is
bearers, 10 plague
incredible.
bearers. Oh my god. Spell Portal, Life Swarm, and Shackles.
It is.
One drop.
I believe it. Tom would definitely be my pick for top spot
Yeah, it's disgusting.
by a margin, because people who would take people who are taking Gotrek are just gonna get noped by him. You know, doesn't matter if Gotrek can't reach you, he can't hit you. Done. And not everyone can deal with that, but Tumblers can deal with that amazingly. I think he'll be playing with people all weekend, especially if they've got a Gotrek list or a Marathi list or both. That'd be a kind of funny game, actually. Yeah, Tom's looks extremely strong. 80s, it's 3 Demon Princes and Be'lakor, and then some Marauders, and they're in Khorne, so I guess maybe it's not that.
Yeah.
No,
I
I just kind of gets.
It's quite interesting. It's not that. I wouldn't say it's cookie cutter. It's not like you see it.
No, I like the
There's
idea
quite a lot of
3S.
Archeon. Actually, like Daniel's just said, look at his, and it's got Archeon. There's quite a few Archeons
There's
around.
5 Archeons.
That's quite a lot, because there ain't that much chaos.
Yeah, no, they are. They're a fairly large portion of it.
The real question is, how many Fellbats have we got in the event? The answer, not enough. There's a Nagash and Manfred in the same army with a Vengorian Lord.
Yeah,
Love it.
I was going to say it's
Castelli.
that's a list. 5 Blood Knights, Death Rattle Skellies, Vengorian, Manfred, Nagash. Done.
Ooh.
Yeah, respect.
Pretty.
Quite like that one, actually.
Just fine until Gotrek waddles into their view, then you. No, that's pretty cool. No, but I mean, to be honest, I just want to go and have fun. So I'm like,
it's quite a lot of variety going on in there. You know, beyond if you skim out the top tier 10 to 15%, actually the rest of it is pretty varied, and I will be interested to play all of that stuff. Like playing Sons of Behemoth, that's going to be fascinating. Not done it yet, so
I played with them. I'm really worried about playing against them. Oh, there's Fellbats. We got some. Sam Watson, legend, got 3 Fellbats. We can rest easy now. What Speckle's using, Mr. Death. He's gonna usurp. He's gonna usurp Tony for Mr. Death. 6 Vargeist, Cogs, 10 Direwolves, 20 Zombies, 5 Blood Knights, Necro, Radikal the Beast, Vengorian Lord, Prince Vordry. Yeah, right. Castelli again. Lots of Castelli. Everyone's taking Castelli. Where's the Legion of Nightman? I think they're all missing a trick. So I say that, but I didn't have my Soul Blight painted in time. So
2 Flesh Eater Courts players.
Yeah. Tony doesn't count though, does he? Because it's not a Flesh Eater army. He's just got the law. He's got the Bretonnian law, but he's using Aiden rules, right?
He is, yeah.
Yeah. No, there's a Gleam Spite, but I can't see the list, so I don't know what's in it. But
yeah, I thought that was just one of them.
Lumen F, is it going to have Techless in it? So a quick look.
There is a Techless. There is one Techless at the event.
Okay.
Liam Alford.
Yeah, so Sentinels though. Ugh. Look at them, 20 Sentinels, 20 Sentinels, 20 Sentinels. Oh, 60 Sentinels in that army. Blech. Yeah, not much fun.
7 units of Sentinels at the event. I'd like to avoid all of them.
Yeah.
Surprised by the amount of zombies.
Yeah, people think they're really good though, don't they? I still think once you play a few games, Death Rattle Skeletons just shine.
Yeah.
Beast of Chaos.
To be fair, there's only 3 units of zombies, and it's 1 unit of 14 each of those people's armies. So no one's gone like zombies. 40 zombies, 30 skeletons, 1 corpse cut. Oh, that's Sam Watson's one that you were looking at.
Yeah. John Dale said there's 25 Stonehorns and or Thundertusks, which I did see there was an awful lot of Beast Claw Raiders.
Wow. Good spot, John.
And Stuart Hogg, apparently. Oh, I don't think he's in this event. He's not in the list.
John, have you finished painting your army yet? I know that you're trying to do like an entire one in 48 hours or something like that.
To be honest, I hope he doesn't finish it, especially if he doesn't paint Gotrek. So
I think if he paints one model, it's going to be good.
What, just leave the rest of the army at home and go, well, I didn't paint it, but I've only got this one, it's fine. I've got Croak, Gotrek, and some skinks, I'm fine.
And Alkington, can't wait, really excited to get on the table. Oh, I'm super excited, man.
Yeah, it should be good. I'm not confident with my army.
No, I will learn a lot. Yeah, I will learn a lot this weekend, and I'll probably, by game 4, I'll be maybe capable of winning the games that I would have lost once I've refreshed things and blown the dust off a bit and played in an actual event as well.
Apparently, there you go. There is a Stuart, but it's he's under a pseudonym of Trog. To be honest, like John, I haven't checked Tony's list and narrative. I saw him tweet a story. I was going to talk to him at the event because I just think it's easier because I don't actually know enough about his story. It's cool, like anything like that. I think it's really cool. So yeah, we've got a Trog army, which is cool.
So I'll butcher it a bit, but Tony's army it's got some cool stuff in it, like his the Soul Scry is the one in IDK that makes you get +3 to charge, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's converted it to be the coconut clicking knight from Monty Python.
From Monty Python
and stuff like that. So he's got some nice little touches in there. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And then I think Christine's got Daughters of Cain. I think she saw her playing a game on Twitter earlier. So, so what she got? Probably Marathi, I imagine. Yeah.
Only 2 Daughters of Cain at the event.
Yeah, I don't know if either of them have got Gotrek, but
yeah, Jodie Bedford.
Yeah, 50% Gotrek Marathi.
What is it? Well, it's called Gotrek's Roadies. I assume.
Yeah, that immediately rings alarm bells. I just really hate the fact that he's in like so many armies now.
Yeah, he is, isn't there?
Yeah, and
oh well, we will we'll come away from it, and we're not here to needlessly bag on shit, guys. If we'll come away and we'll have some constructive stuff to say about what we felt about him at the event. I'll make sure that I ask some people. I'll ask Alex as well, see what he thinks once the dust is settled. And we can see what we think about him in the game. Nige has got Gotrek, and Gotrek's trip to Jurassic Park.
Don't look at Nigel's list. It's like he's at everything that's wrong with Warhammer right now. Like he's like net listing already, and there's only been one event.
It's not a net list. It's every large dinosaur.
No,
it's every large dinosaur in Gotrek.
Yeah, but didn't the large dinosaur Seraphim just win an event, and then he's just put Gotrek in it? Nigel's a terrible human. No, I'm kidding. Actually, no. I'm just messing. I'm just
Esaurus, Bastillodon, Stegodon, Gotrek, Flan.
I hope he's in full safari gear. Just like be there like da na 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 na. Hopefully life doesn't find a way.
So what is the best Gotrek list then? It's the best Gotrek list is the one with Marathian. We don't even need to talk about it. I don't think actually. That's the
I'm sure John Dale's one to be very strong.
I'm sure it will be strong, but I just think the presence of those two in the same army is undeniably obnoxious, isn't it?
Any list of him is obnoxious. So in my opinion. But there is a lot of order. Is there a Fire Slayer army with Gotrek in it? I know.
One thing I'd say about
there we go. At least he's a Dwarven army, but there's a lot. There's a few Iron Jaws. So I've looked through the list and go, just hope I don't have to play loads of Seraphon with Gotrek in it because I should want to kill myself.
Really interesting how many people are pushing for 1-drops. Actually, that's something that I think is notable. Like Warlords in there less than Battle Regiment, and I think that's strange.
Yeah, me too.
right?
Mhm.
I think unless you're fragile Slanesh, Lurid Haze, like I am, or other things that have a specific plan or a very specific weakness, I just think not being in not taking Warlord seems strange because it opens up so much, and it's so easy to get in. And if people are taking Battle Regiment plus other stuff, which a lot of people are, I don't. Yeah, it just seems strange to me. Like I don't the people who are like 4 or 5 drops. Yes, you may be less than some other people, but you may also be equal to other people who've just gone with Warlord and have like something else in it. I guess we'll see how much that stuff matters. That's part of the stuff that I'm going to find really interesting about the event. Like I've got all these ideas from individual games, but I've not seen them in a proper 5-round setting.
Yeah, and I think for me, like, I just want to go and push stuff around, have a bit of a laugh, see what else is around on the tables, whatever people have done, and just try and represent like just
The OBR,
OBR and just be
C tier,
like Arcan and just
representing
be
C
like
tier.
well, there's no expectation, is there? I mean, I wasn't even going to go to the event,
No,
so it's not like I'm taking it super seriously or anything. Like, and it's should be a laugh. Be nice to just push some models around, roll some dice, and have a bit of fun. But I think I don't know if the one drop's that important. Like, I don't think it is, unless your army is particularly, like you say, needs to Alpha Striker is particularly fragile.
yeah, it's just so valuable to be able to say, right, okay, well, you can't shoot me, you can go first, so I can meet you turn 1 if needs, or I can act around you, or you could shoot me, I will go first before you can shoot me. And
The
a
good
lot of
thing
the
about
armies,
me going second is that I get more relentless discipline I can't spend.
ABR have always been good about not caring about the who goes first stuff, haven't they?
No, they don't give a shit. It's fine.
Yeah, they've always been good at just not caring whatsoever. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yes, KO at F tier. Yeah, I don't know, Will, about all the stuff to do with like not being able to get out because of garrison rules and timing and movement. It's all a bit. It seems a bit, well, want of a better word, a bit fucked up for KO players at the moment. Is welcome to the club. I still like the idea. I submitted my army list to Alex, and I put in there. I said, I know your rules pack says I need to submit a AOS free army, but I'm taking OBR. Is that okay?
Your name should have just been your list name should just been AOS too.
Yeah,
Oh
well, it
yeah, John, I
basically
will
is.
be making some markers as well.
Yeah, I've got some really cool markers from Matt, but I'm probably gonna have to make some bases just for my custom 5 points. I've got some for my other Death army, but they don't match my army, so I'm gonna, when I do Arcan, I'll make the bases as well, because it's just make like 6 bases. Might need to make 8, but it's fine. So it's easy. But yeah, that's us. So I guess really the only thing is, if people have questions or
Yeah, rock on, guys.
anything they want to talk about. Yeah, John, that's interesting. No, Storm Fiends. There's a lot of people talking about this 9 Storm Fiend army, but there aren't really any there. So, probably a couple lists to come in, so you never know. But yeah, I'm not sure if it's that good. But
I think it's phenomenal, but I just think you also have to own all of it and want to play an army like that.
oh, Will, that sounds horrific. I love the fact you're just keeping that banner alive, but
Yeah.
when 1-2
Yeah,
lost 7, ugh.
it's a hard I think without like double ironclad, it's a hard it's a hard life for KO currently.
Yeah, I mean, Sons of Behemoth are a weird one because
9 in 1 block.
yeah, because Sons of Behemoth are a bit of a strange one, because basically they're like that you need so much spike damage to drop a giant, because they've actually got more wounds than any other army now. Like, because it's like when you played AOS 2, they had like the same amount of wounds they do in 3, but everyone else's wound counts dropped. And you need the spike damage. I know that I had a message from somebody asking me about how to deal with. Oh, it's from Wayne. He was asking me about how to deal with Sons of Behemat because he played Ricky and he was like, he's using Soul Blight and he said I didn't have enough damage, and I was like, you just need to have more Graveguard or Great Weapons, because they're with Van Hels, they're one of the things that can actually drop a giant. The problem with like Blood Knights, they just don't do enough to drop them. You know, you need,
No, and then you get hit back.
and then you die.
So I think actually as a complete counter to that, like if you put 3 units of Blood Knights into one of them, then I think you'll probably come out on top, because the person's going to have to split attacks, and that never goes well. And then you'll get, you know, that once they fall, you don't have to do that combat anymore. So you can just leave that one. So if you can pick off 2 at once, you know, it's quite easy to get like a debuff piece behind your Blood Knights as well, which makes a big difference to Sons of Behemat. You know, Vengorian Lords are going to do some real work there, or any other debuff spells, which you've got access to a lot of, and Sons of Behemat don't dispel particularly effectively. So I think the death come out on top of that 9 times out of 10.
I think they've got a lot of
right.
tools to deal with it. One of the things I said to Wayne that you could do in Manfred, which is a bit sneaky. So what you do is you have a giant and you move Manfred and he's like 3 inches away from the giant. You don't charge the giant. You just stand next to him.
Yeah.
Then in his go, they'll charge you. They do mortal wounds impacts. You got to be a bit careful. But then you just teleport away. And if he wants to move around you, then fine.
Yeah.
But then you can kind of like use him as a blocker. So I think the 25 mil infantry with lots of attacks are a really good way to drop giants. So like in
a bit of shooting as well.
Yeah, I mean obviously death
Also
don't
in
really
Soul
have
Blight.
it, but yeah, it's but yeah, I mean like shooting's a good way. But they've got 35 wounds, and the fact that one of them can have the 5 up after save now pretty much always will have that.
Deal.
It's a big deal. I actually think they're very competitive. I think the only thing they come unstuck is when they play that one army that's like super honed.
Gotrek.
Well, yeah. Or you know, if Gotrek wasn't so prevalent, would they be a 5-0 army quite consistently? Probably.
I think in the hands of a good player, they can make real issues. So good for scenario play.
I know that they podiumed at the Detroit event, or the club that. Then I was like, but then there were so many there of good players taking it, like Sean and Brad, and that. Then it's like it's not surprising, but it's like, you know,
that many high quality players.
No, John, not. I mean, I'm happy to give my opinion if I get asked, but I've not been asked for that. But you know, it's
some perks. Are you guys going with full-on army display bases, etc.? I'm in the midst of building one now. No, not to this one, dude. I don't have time to do that.
I'm going to be on a train, so I'm not carrying a display board.
My army's going to be on bases, and I'll be happy if they're even on that. Grace here. Are they viable? You need to sky a general, don't you? And then invest fully half your points in one unit. Dude, it's an incredible list. They are nuts, crazy, off the hook good. Yes, they are good. Sons of Behemat are solid mid tier. They seem to win 3 games almost every time in 2.0. I think they're above mid tier. Do you think the rules pack have affected list, e.g. only being able to take universal artifacts if you've already picked other fashion-specific artifact, and only certain Ger realm rules being in play? I don't think it's changed it that much.
No, I think a lot of people just take what they want to take, and they don't really care too much, because it's like, I think the thing that would have the more impact on lists is probably the secondary missions that add up to like 50 tournament points.
Yeah.
Because I just think.
No. I think it's a nice level. It's got its own flavour on it, but it's not like we're playing a different game. Daughters of Cain are a strong counter. That is true, Matt. Definitely.
This is my Nagash that's in my collection. Still in its packaging.
Gold Crusher Battle Line seemed to be an attractive option. The question is how to tool up the Juggernaut Law. We can tank him up to full unkillable mode. That is interesting, actually. I'm sure they would be good as Battle Line. The Storm Fiend shenanigans is they can be buffed by a lot of things in unique ways. they could be made extremely reliable, and that's a lot of wounds in one unit.
More
And
power, things like that. So
yeah,
it's,
just +1 armor save is a big deal. You know,
I actually
right?
think now that you can put weapons teams in clan rats as well, there's some stuff there with like the mortal wounds and stuff. All hail Nagash.
Be'lakor is probably best counter to Gotrek. Be'lakor, a lot of stuff in Chaos is a good counter to Gotrek.
The best
Be'lakor,
anti-Gotrek army
Pyros,
is this one.
Khorne Demon Prince.
From Tom Maudsley.
It is.
This is the best anti-Gotrek army. I mean, it's horribly formatted, but if you wanna sit down and look at it, this is the best anti-Gotrek army, hands down.
Well, that army is essentially, I have the ability to switch off 2 of your things.
And I've got horrors.
One time in a game.
And I've got and if you're not charging me, I've got Khorne Demon Prince. You've got Bloodstick Ground. You've got Kairos to manipulate a dice. You've got Be'lakor. You're not doing anything. It's a 1-drop. It's got Emerald. It's just got Soul Snare Shackles, which then just means Gotreks can't charge. It's just
you also got stop pile-ins within 14 inches of the Sloppity, or you know, I think it's stop pile-ins within 18 against Nurgle units or something like that. So if you've done some careful casualty removal, Gotrek might be 2 inches away from your Plague Bearers, unable to pile in and therefore unable to reach them, which is a great way to stop him from being able to do anything.
Yeah, it's just like amazing.
Isaac's just said exactly the same thing, and it was a Vile Piper, not a Sloppity. Oh, yeah, that is the same.
That is the same thing. Yeah, that's his full. Yeah. Put the two together, you get his full name, Sloppity Vile Piper. But yeah, it's the Blighted Legionnaire, taking Stormcast Eternals to my first big AOS event now to wait for the new battle tomb. Any tips at first big event? Introduce yourself to people with your name. Try and be sociable, enjoy it, go around, look at armies, and just have fun. That's the best advice I can give you. Just enjoy it. Soak it in.
Yeah, absolutely, especially after we've been not allowed to do anything fun for all of the world. Do you have? We haven't had a hugely in-depth look at the list. It's a good question though. What is the what will be a dark horse of the tournament?
I don't know. I'm going to go with this.
No, really
there's a really renegade Ossiarch Bone Reaper army that doesn't have a catapult. I think it's... no, I'm kidding.
I do think that Nagash list is really bloody cool. The Nagash, Manfred, Frangorian Lord, Blood Knight, Skellies. I think that's... if you're playing Sons of Behemat, that's going to be an absolute nightmare to play against, isn't it?
I think Maudsley will do very well.
Maudsley,
because he always does very well. And well, his list is Legion of the First Prince. It's not. If you were out there, like if you went on the internet and asked people what they think strong in AOS, not many people would mention it. So it's a dark horse list with a very good player.
We just know it's good because Tom's playing it.
Yeah, but we know about it because we talked to Tom, right? But
yeah, I think he's gonna. I hope that he plays 4 Gotreks. It just says no.
I hope just something happens that stops people taking Gotrek. So,
100 more points sorted.
Yeah.
I will pick out. There is one list I particularly like, Jack Malin's Iron Jaws, which it just looks incredibly aggressive. Maw Crusher, Weird Knob Shaman, War Chanter, 10 boys, 3 Gore Grunters, 3 Gore Grunters, 6 Gore Grunters, Geminids. It just looks like that. I think that in AOS 3 is really good.
The boys. That's his list name. That's good. I like it.
Yeah. No, I think it's
I think there's a couple Iron Jaws. It's a bit weird. There isn't any Big War.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, it is. There was never that much Big War, though. I think people lent more towards it for power than for, like coherence or fluff or whatever. But the Iron Jaws are so good. Like the grand strategy, hold the line. That's my entire army. They do a lot of stuff very well without being, loud and shouty about it. So interested to see how they perform. Obviously, I think you have to play them extremely well. But I'm interested to see how the Sons of Behemoth do, just in general. I've not got to see a lot of them going on. Yeah, I'm fascinated to see how a lot of this does, actually. And hopefully I get to play 5 different armies.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm not entirely sure, like, what's going to do well. If I had to put, I mean, obviously, you know, good players are good players, right? So I sort of say that they're going to be there. I think AD would do very well.
Yeah, I think his this the type of thing that looks easily underestimatable, but I know that he knows how to use Marauders and the bullshitty stuff. So he'll be very good at it. And that's 3 ASF models that hit fairly hard. Not you know loads, but that's also really interesting. So I've written some lists like that. They're a bit wanky, but I'm sure he'll do very well with it.
Declan's been doing quite well with his Sons of Behemoth, so I'm quite interested. Declan is a very good player. Like it's like he always takes really subpar or like themey fun lists, but he's very good at what he does. So I'd be interested to see what he does with his Gargants. Sean, if Byron plays Gotrek 5 times, I'm literally gonna laugh a lot, but not too much so that he doesn't let me stay at his house.
If I play him, if I play him 5 times, I've got to have a good chance of killing him once, right? That's how it works.
I want you to, at the end of it, you'll just be there when I start bagging on Gotrek. You'll just be like, oh, double down, double down.
If I play Gotrek 5 times, he's going to be banned at Facehammer. No,
no, I'm not
no, he'll
sure
just be 800 points.
No, I might house rule it, but I might house rule Gotrek if it's a problem. I don't really want the event to be overshadowed by something that should be fixed by Games Workshop, and they probably won't. Because for me, it's already too prevalent for a model that should be a fringe choice for people who are really into the background. It shouldn't be every order army is just better without it this quickly. It's just too much, really.
Well, I mean, what percentage? I don't know how many of the armies have been put in yet, but to have whatever it is, like 10 of them, like you've got 12 to 15% of the field representing him, which is mad. He's more popular than any one faction.
Yeah, there's more Gotreks than any other faction. Is it Warhammer armies Gotrek?
Yeah.
So
we'll definitely report back on that. People are, you know, with the amount of him that are in here, people are obviously going to find it interesting and ask a lot of questions. John, you can help me with a first round grudge. That doesn't sound very benevolent, mate.
He's like, such a nice guy. He's like, yeah, I'll grudge you. I know you can't do in my army. Do.
I'd be interested to see how I go against an army like that, but I'll play it if it comes up naturally.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I would quite like to play John because I like playing John, but then I don't like playing John. So I know. If you like, it's like I look at the army list and go, nope, not playing that. Go away.
If you were like Fire Slayers bullshit and Gotrek, yes, but you're Seraphon, which is the maximum tier of bullshit. So
what tier is he? He's in team tier wanker.
Lizard tier.
Used to be an affectionate nickname for those people, didn't there? But we won't say that on air. We'll get the YouTube. You'll demonetize us.
I will make sure to take my little book that I have when I do games. I will make a couple of tables before the event, both Sigvald's kill list and how like some space for if I play Gotrek, what list was it, what was in it. I'll make sure I remember that stuff and take some pictures as well.
What's going to happen?
Report back on it.
And this is going to happen. I want to get Speckles in a match, and I want to get his Prince Vordry, and I want to curse the ears him off because I need revenge for when he took off my Star Drake on turn on bloody at the GT. After double turning me and moving in range and then casting it, and I was just like, he's gonna kill it. He just killed my Star Drake in a one-er, and I'm like, no, I've got to get my own back. It's very unlikely to happen. Probably won't happen, but if it happens, it will be amazing, and I'm definitely going to play for it if we end up playing. I'd love to
Just
play
so pleased to
Speckles
see
again, to be
people. Just the
honest.
fact that you're like, I could play Speckles. I'm just so excited at the prospect of going and seeing people I've not seen for ages. It's going to be
Yeah,
awesome. So whatever happens, we will have fun and we will bring back stories and we will document it in some way, shape, or form throughout the weekend, even if it's
yeah.
just phone videos or whatever. So yeah,
So yeah, I mean, what I'm planning to do is take a few little short videos, and what we do is montage them. We will cover the event and talk about everything in detail, our games, what happened, all that kind of stuff. So probably going to take some photos of games and talk through decisions in games and learning points. I've also got the pitch battle, path to glory journal thing to record the results, and there'll be a lot of updates. We'll try and tweet some stuff out, but it might be after the event that we put out some videos and stuff on YouTube and stuff like that. So yeah, we're just going to put a load of content out there. Depending on how much I feel like I can carry on the train, I might do some player interviews and stuff as well. I was going to get a new phone, but I haven't bothered to order one yet, so we'll see.
strap a GoPro to your test. You can just
Yeah, just like strap a GoPro. Like they won't sell it to me because it's for like people who do sports, and I'll go, "What? Why do you want a GoPro? Like, what's that? You must be doing something seedy, not having this." Yeah, but it something like that. But like I mean, like phone's good enough, really, isn't it? So it's just yeah, and Facehammer GT. We've talked about it before. The pack will be going up shortly. I probably will wait until after the weekend to see what happens if I want a house rule anything. And tickets will be on sale shortly. Watch this space. Just keep up to us. We'll announce it on Twitter. It'll be on the Discord. Obviously, we'll announce all of that in plenty of time. And it's on the. I know it's not that far away, but I didn't want to sell tickets until we knew what was going on with the whole situation in the country. So it's the 11th and 12th of September. So it's just over a month and a bit away. Obviously, I've announced the date before, so pretty much sure people will be aware of that. It will be straight out of the General's Handbook. I might do some house rules to fix some silliness. We'll just see.
We'll collect some thoughts from ourselves and other people while we're there and observe how the field looks. Obviously, if it goes Tom, Gotrek, then maybe that's something we need to address.
Yeah, we'll see. But it's. I think for me, I just don't want to play it. Like, I just want to play. Don't want to play against it. It's just like, I don't know. It might be okay.
We'll see. Maybe his stubby legs will slow him down enough that it's not an issue. But I
My
think
army's got stubby legs.
That is the issue, isn't it? The armies that can deal with him and the armies that can take him.
Yeah. Unless it's chaos. Yeah. But we'll see. Yeah, it'll be good. I think we need to wrap this up because you probably need to get back to painting.
Yeah, building. Got one Bragard to build, and then I might try the heat gun, and I can go to sleep and have nightmares of me melting my favorite model ever. Or
yeah, don't do
like
that. No, I still think you're better off sculpting it. I think you're better off sculpting it.
We'll see.
You've got a spare though, haven't you? If you mess it up, so
yeah.
There you go. Well,
amazing. Thanks for tuning in, peeps.
Yeah, thanks for watching. We've still got a couple days left, so we've got the end of the month. If you want to support us, you can buy us a coffee, which you can see that there. Link. This is Ko-fi. You can join our Patreon, which you can see at the top there or in the description. Or you can join us. There's a join button somewhere down on the video over there. And we're going to do a prize draw for Dominion, some other goodies, some templates, some objective markers you could see in the pictures in the game that I showed earlier. Yeah, to give those away. So if you do any of those, then you'll be entered in the draw by the end of the month, and we'll give those prizes out. So it's not that we've got about 30-40 people, so like that's quite good odds to get something. So it's only like £3 for a coffee or something like that. It helps support us and enters you into a prize draw. So feel free to help us out, and you might win a Dominion. It's a good investment, £3. So
absolutely.
Watch this space, or try and get the Chaos. We've done some beginner videos about overviews of factions. I'll try and get the Chaos video out this week, but to be honest, we've got a lot to do, and particularly Byron, so I've been a bit harsh trying to pin him down to record.
That's fine.
But I think we'll be doing content after the event quite a bit. Yeah, I'll see you on Saturday, John. Just Hail Hydra said, sorry, just arrived. How do you do predictions on how you'll do? Which we should talk
That's a
about.
good, no, that's a good question. I like genuinely, I would be fine with finishing in the top 50% in the field, I think.
Mm.
I just think, especially in a 5-game event rather than a 6, and the fact that there are so many good armies that they're going to bash each other down, I think there's a decent chance that you could be feeling like you're in the mid tables, but you could be playing some really hard stuff that had been in the top tables quite easily. So I'd be very pleased with top third, and top 50% would be all right for me. I have to say,
I don't know.
go ahead.
I haven't really thought about it because I didn't really go.
Yeah,
I didn't really set an objective for the event. I didn't go, I want to go to the event and do X, Y, Z. The only thing I wanted to do was just take OVR and see how it feels.
yeah,
I think I don't normally have a negative record, and by that I always win more than 50% of my games. So yeah, Sean's got his rule for the Detroit club, which is 3 wins or walk home. So it's a long walk. No, I think I would hope to go at least 3 wins. If I go less than that, I will probably reevaluate what I'm like OBR at all in this. I won't know till I play some games. Just to see how it feels. I know that I can do well with them if I play well, and it's just what it is. But it just depends. If I feel completely outclassed, then I'm just going to be a bit like, okay.
Well,
fine.
you might just want to have some drinkies as well. That changes
Yeah,
it, doesn't
well,
it?
to be honest,
like sometimes you turned up and you switched on, and sometimes you're like, actually, this is awesome. I've not seen people. That's your biggest thing. That this is my biggest thing. Let's rock into the middle. I'm very aware that my army is bad at grand strategies as well. That mounts up across 5 games, stuff like that. So I have to be realistic, I think, about it.
Whenever I get to the table, I never get into this like drink and just push it round for lols. I always try and do my best. So I know I'm going to try and do that, but I'm almost playing handicapped Warhammer on purpose to see if I can play out of it, because a lot of what I've heard about AOS3 is like, it's like player skill matters more, particularly in the playtest area and stuff. People saying that it's less list dependent, and I'm thinking, well, let's see, because I'm taking a knife to a gunfight, and you are as well. To be honest, let's just see how
rubber knife
it
mate.
feels. I don't think it's that bad. I think your list isn't that bad. Stealth, it's all right. I think my list is fine. When I played like James Box with his Big War, I was like, it doesn't feel like my army's bad.
Yeah, it's not a heavy shooting environment either, which is fairly helpful for you, I think, and for me. For both of us, it's quite helpful that it's not like loads of shooty lists.
Yeah, we'll just see. I just have to try and play better. So, but I would say I want to go at least 3 wins. If I don't, I'll be a bit. If I play 3, the biggest thing for me is when I play a game that I feel like I've had a chance to win it. If I play 3 games and I feel like I didn't have a chance, then I'll be like, there's something wrong here. No worries, Brother Ferris. So I'm glad that's motivating you to get the OBR. And to be honest,
there'll be more content post.
And that, to be honest, that's one of the reasons that I wanted to do OBR, because it's like everyone's down on them at the moment, and like I was down on them. I mean, to be honest, give you a bit of a backstory, and maybe I can talk about it, maybe I can't. I'll talk about it. Fuck it. So when OBR come out, and I think it was November 2019 or around that time, or it was around that period. It was Blood and Glory. They were out with the Bone set. I got my OBR. He was like, "Yep, really excited about them." Then I had a playtest weekend coming up. I went to playtest weekend, and it was like AOS3. So obviously quite a way in advance. And I was like, cool. Read the rules. I was like, well, that's work with my guys because they don't do command abilities. And it was like, we don't know, but probably don't get them. And I was like, it put me on a massive downer. and like I shelved the army for a long time. I didn't play it much, obviously, because of the pandemic. Didn't play anyway. But it's like I played one team event with them because I think I already said I would, and I did quite well with it, and I enjoyed using it. And then I didn't really play them after that. And then with the sort of the FAQ and what's happened when they've come out, and hopefully there'll be a revision. I've been like, okay, and I said, well, I need to play them and I need to see. So my kind of goal is like I need to go to this event to see, to really know if they are going to go back in a box, which I know is a bit of a harsh thing to say, but one of the things I try and do as well, that obviously I mean, I've got a way to talk to the games designers directly. So if I can play and say, look, I played an event with them, I normally go this sort of, well, this is what happened. I tried my best. This was a problem. It didn't quite work or whatever, or it was okay. It was fine. It will help understand the problem. So it'd be nice to try and like push that through and see. Yeah, I just don't want to like moan about the problems. I'd rather like try and play out of it and say, yeah, this is good, this isn't good.
Well, yeah, you got to back it up with, you know, having actually done it. You can theory everything you want, but it counts more if it's done on the table with the scenario in play and all the rest of it. I've just linked in chat live tomorrow, earlier than us. So in 18 hours from now, Wargame Online have got a how to deal with Gotrek. So I've put a link to that in chat. They're doing a live then, or a premiere.
Yeah, I think Luke mentioned it in the WhatsApp earlier that they're doing a how to deal with Gotrek. So I might watch that. I might learn something. I don't think they're going to be talking about all the great tools OBR have to deal with them. They'll probably say source their shackles, which I don't have, which I almost took just to deal with Gotrek. And I thought, actually, I'm not going to bother because I kind of want to use my army that I designed and not try and anticipate the meta. I knew he was going to be a problem. And I was like, well, let's just put the head in the sand, ignore it, and see how much it upsets me at the weekend. But I think the fact that
try and kill him,
I'm going to give it a go. Like more tech and power Nadrite weapons. Just going to go in, just going to YOLO it. Gonna just roll loads of dice and not kill him, and then lose the whole unit, and then that'll be it. So
get a double smashing.
Yeah, I don't see the link either, Byron. So I don't know if you posted it, but
maybe I'm not allowed to post links then because I'm not admin.
Okay. I can make you an admin, then you can post it again.
Cool. Oh, there it is.
I think you're a moderator now, so you might better put it in.
Did that appear? It did. I got a spanner.
So, yeah, it'd be nice if we can. I'm sure we'll have a good time because at the end of the day, it's like we're going to go play Warhammer. We haven't done it for so long, and there's a bar.
Absolutely.
So my plan is, if it does all go to shit, I'm just going to drink. And then Byron can carry me back to his flat, which is going to end up... Because he's been practicing lifting balls, right? Big, heavy weight. So you should be able to, like, man lift me into the back of a cab, right?
Absolutely. 100%. That's the plan. I'm really looking forward to having a lot of fun. And I've got a vested interest in making sure people spend loads on booze in my venue, so I'm going to be in party mode.
So you should be encouraging Gotrek. Like, everyone take Gotrek and drink beer.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm going to try and chop up his head at least once this weekend.
Oh, I'm not going to mess around. If I'm playing against him, I'm going full balls to the wall, try and kill the little bastard. But yeah, I think it'll be fun. But I mean, I'm not one to shy away from a fight or a challenge, so let's give it a go. But
no, I'm going to be running into Sigmar into everything, whether it is a giant with 35 wounds or a Gotrek. We'll just see how it goes.
And if I end up on the bottom tables, pissed out my face, like rolling Mortec Guard into the bin, then it's fine, isn't it? So
if it does, we'll drive via a costume shop on the way home, pick you up a Roman helmet, and we can repeat that wonderful experience.
Yeah. The Hydra might make an appearance. The real disco boy, no, Nagash can cast Arcane Bolt 8 times and Arcane to do it 3 times because they are the best wizards in all of Age of Sigmar. Don't let Teclis tell you otherwise. Okay, right, anyway, that's enough of us talking. Thank you everyone for joining us. Hopefully you enjoyed that,
Thank you
and
very much, guys.
we'll catch you all again in the next one, and we'll obviously tune in for more updates about the Manchurian Carnage and our event, and hopefully we'll do all right. But I think we should go three wins, right? 3 wins. We'll go with
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And if anyone likes the sound of this event or the pack, follow Alex Ghostarm on Twitter. He's the guy who's running it. I've just put his name there. Search that in Twitter. It'll only bring up one person, I imagine. And he's responsible for the wonderful event that we've been talking about.
Yeah, I think it's at AJ Ghostarm on Twitter. I think as it's on the front there. But yeah, thanks for watching. We'll catch you again soon. Have a good evening, and let's get back to painting.
All right then. See you in a bit, guys. Bye.
All right, bye.